Okay, so this is just a little preview of the next update, 0.3, because I'm not entirely done. As I said, this one's gonna be pretty big, but I've done quite a bit. So the things I've done. The darter is back as an enemy. There is another new enemy. I've done a bit more. The enemies shouldn't be pushing each other and making themselves like go Mach 3 anymore. And there's a few other things I'm still working on doing, but then one of the other big things is the player now has an ability, which we will go over, and then there's a few other little tweaks we'll go over. So we load up the game. We'll see. Bottom left, right here. This is this spaceship's ability. This is a shield, so if I hold it, I'm gonna hold the trigger. Not trigger, but like the just saw a bug over there that should be fixed. I'm gonna hold down right mouse button. It starts draining. So what this does is it's a shield. It's literally just a shield. So if we also take a look over here, you can see there's a weird little thing attached to one of those lobsters. That is a why the f here, let me so this is the urchin. What the fuck is it doing? Why were they working before this? So the urchin attaches onto enemies. That is so weird. Okay, I guess I'm gonna need bug fix this. It attaches onto enemies. Any enemy it's on, it will start. It basically, every time you hit the enemy it's attached to, it'll do a burst of bullets, as you saw. And every time you hit itself, it'll do. See, they're pretty weak. It's just they're kind of meant to cause chaos. There's the thing, you can also see there's damage numbers as well. And so, see, like that. And then as soon as that one dies, it tries going to another one. They're not exactly too fast though, so some enemies, like the chasers, usually outrun it. Doesn't seem to be connecting too well, which is weird because all my playtesting kind of seemed to show it was fine. I am just hoping that there is going to be a darter. Splitter. Which, you'll also notice the top left. There is it's now basically everything's been let me turn the sound down just in case it's hard to hear. So all of the healths have been just basically times 10, even the enemy health, just because I want it to kind of be like this, because if it's not, if I want to add any other, what did I do? One. It's really contact damage. So the darter didn't spawn, which is a bit upsetting, but I basically times 10 all the health values so we could have better in-betweens. Okay, that's another bug I gotta watch. What? It thinks we're still on wave. It thinks this is wave 5. So it increased the token count by a shit ton. Okay, so this is good. We're learning about the bugs. Here's the darter. Okay. Look. See? And then they'll damage you. So the line is where they're going to, is where they damage. The circle is going to be where they end up. And that's all they do. Which is like significantly better, I think, than what it previously was. But so, what else did I add? Let's see. Darter, urgent, shield ability, damage numbers, particles. Yeah, so there's a few other particles in places like, if you're low health, there's a few particles. I forget all the other places. The player has bullet spread, which is pretty unnoticeable. I hope it's not like too unbalanced, but we'll like that's specifically there for when all the roguelike stuff comes in later in this update. The chasers I found were way too fast, so the other thing, if you take a look down here, let's scroll up to the other ones. So if we see here, I'll probably have to zoom in post, but what this does is all of the enemies, if we go over to, let's just say, the chaser scene over here, we'll see he has a weight curve here. So the weight curve is, it's a maximum domain of 200, so theoretically, the way I have this set up, this would go into, it would take 200 waves for this to take effect, which I might have to change, but it's implemented, it kind of works. So as you go along, it starts at 0.6 and eventually goes down to 0.1. So when it hits, you know, when the wave 100, it'll only be like, you know, 0.4. And with the spawner getting a lot more tokens at that time, these guys will be less likely to spawn, I think, because the other ones, if we go over to the darter, go up. Same with the cloaker a tiny bit, the retaliator a tiny bit, and all the other ones I'm gonna add are probably like the more difficult ones are gonna go up in weight as they go along, so that they're more likely to be chosen. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show. I've also done a bit of just like under the hood changes, which just make it a bit more modular, which we'll get into in another devlog. But so I'm gonna go fix those bugs, and I'm going to then work on some bosses. And I don't think there was anything else I wanted to talk about. I just didn't want to leave everybody completely in the dark about what was going on about this, because it has been like over 2 weeks, I think, by this point, since the last update, and I just wanted to show that, you know, I have actually gotten stuff done. Sorry about my dog. I have actually gotten stuff done. But, again, big update. I'm also not too sure if there's going to be an update after this. I'm pretty sure in my previous devlog I said this was the second last one. I, frankly, don't see much point in adding more content after this before the Steam release. Like, I feel like just saving the item specifics and a bunch of the other stuff we'll get into in the next devlog for the update before the Steam release seems kind of stupid. I feel like if I'm gonna add a ton of new stuff at once, like a massive update that changes a lot of the main systems in the game, at least, like, you know, and also how you play, I feel like that would just be better with the Steam release. So this might be the last update until the Steam release. So expect the Steam release. I keep saying Steam release. Around, like, the holidays, maybe. I think would maybe be a good time to aim for. Maybe a bit into the new year. But we'll see. Hopefully I can get another devlog out in like 2 weeks to show you some of the bosses, because I have a few ideas for some. I just gotta figure out how the hell to actually program them well enough to be a boss, and then all the roguelike elements. But otherwise, it's all going fine, other than those few bugs I somehow only just noticed. And I will see you all in the next devlog with a lot more cool stuff to show you. See ya.